the potential departure of Raúl Asensio and his strategic value to Real Madrid. Real Madrid currently finds itself in a delicate internal debate over the potential departure of Raúl Asensio, a decision that, for many fans and experts, warrants careful reconsideration before any final determination is made. This young centre-back, born and raised in the club's famed youth academy, embodies not only raw talent but also the very essence of Real Madrid's philosophy: commitment, discipline, and relentless effort to improve. Since joining the club's youth ranks, Asensio has demonstrated a professionalism that sets him apart from many peers and a level of maturity that is particularly striking given his young age, qualities that are far from common in players newly integrated into a first team of this caliber. Over the past season, Asensio emerged as one of the squad's major revelations. His ability to read the game, tactical intelligence, and defensive composure allowed him to shine during critical moments, earning not only the respect of fans and teammates but also the recognition of specialized media outlets, which repeatedly highlighted his consistent growth and resilient character. His contributions extend beyond matchday performances. His adaptability to different tactical setups, his learning from mistakes, and his ability to maintain high standards in training and competitive matches demonstrate a discipline rarely seen in players of his age and experience. However, the arrival of Xavi Alonso has significantly altered the team's dynamics, affecting Asensio's role on the pitch. While the young defender had begun to establish himself as a serious contender in the central defense, the tactical restructuring and the trust placed in Alonso have relegated him to a secondary role, a move many perceive as unfair for a player who has proven to be a valuable asset for the club. This issue goes beyond playing minutes. It touches on long-term projections. A player with Asensio's profile could become a cornerstone of the team in the coming seasons, and letting him go now might be considered a strategic misstep. From an economic perspective, the club has set a price of €35 million for Asensio, a figure that explicitly reflects his market value and the immediate financial gain his sale could bring. Yet, in modern football, economics cannot be measured solely in monetary terms. The sporting, strategic, and emotional value of a homegrown player often surpasses any short-term financial calculation. The distinction between valuing a player financially and being truly willing to part with him is significant. In this case, the decision transcends numbers, balancing current team needs with long-term development plans. Analyzing Asensio's performance goes beyond mere statistics. His ability to perform under pressure, maintain composure in critical moments, and adapt to different styles of play makes him an exceptional tactical asset. Furthermore, his understanding of what it means to wear the white jersey, his identification with the club's philosophy, and his sense of belonging are qualities that cannot be bought on the market and form part of Real Madrid's DNA. Sacrificing his continuity for short-term rotation concerns or convenience could be a strategic error the club might regret in the future. Real Madrid's youth academy has always been a source of pride and a central pillar of the club's identity. Parting ways with a player trained at Valdebebas, who has overcome trials, challenges, and the pressures of one of the most demanding clubs in the world, could be seen as a departure from the historical values that have defined the club for decades. Asensio embodies the philosophy of Real Madrid's academy: effort, discipline, passion, and commitment to the badge. While he has made occasional mistakes, such as in critical moments during the Club World Cup, what truly defines a player is his ability to learn and grow, qualities that Asensio has repeatedly demonstrated both in training and in official matches. Beyond the present, the debate surrounding his potential departure also involves long-term strategic considerations. His potential for growth, ability to develop into a defensive cornerstone, and opportunity to become a key player in upcoming seasons suggest prudence. Decisions driven solely by internal competition or short-term financial gain risk depriving the club of a player whose long-term contribution could be invaluable, both on the field and symbolically. Ultimately, the question many Madridistas are asking is not merely whether Asensio should be sold for €35 million, but whether such an action aligns with the club's strategic logic and the principles that have historically guided its sporting decisions. For those who value the academy, internal talent development, and long-term team building, the answer seems clear. Raúl Asensio deserves to continue wearing the white jersey, receiving playing time, trust, and opportunities to establish himself as a fundamental player for Real Madrid in the years ahead. Letting him go now would be more than just a financial transaction. It would represent a significant loss in the club's recent and future history, a decision that could be regretted in seasons to come when his full potential becomes evident. Jadon Sancho, an unnecessary risk for Real Madrid? In recent days, a piece of news has shaken the transfer market and sparked intense debate within European football circles. Jadon Sancho, the 25-year-old English winger, has reportedly been offered to Real Madrid. The very prospect of his arrival has set off alarm bells among analysts and fans alike, who remember with both nostalgia and concern the ups and downs that have defined Sancho's career in recent years. Sancho first made his mark in Europe during his time at Borussia Dortmund, where he shone thanks to his blistering pace, exceptional dribbling, and ability to destabilize defenses in crucial moments. That young Englishman, brimming with confidence and natural talent, was considered one of the most promising prospects in world football. His direct, daring, and unpredictable style made him a game-changer, capable of turning matches around with a single action. However, Sancho's trajectory took an unexpected turn following his transfer to Manchester United. Far from continuing his progression, the winger encountered a more complicated environment than anticipated. Adaptation issues, tactical misfits, internal conflicts, and a general lack of consistency in performance led his name to transition from a synonym of promise to that of uncertainty. His time in England has been marked by modest statistics in goals and assists, contrasting sharply with his explosive form in Germany and highlighting a recurring pattern of inconsistency that has shadowed much of his career. Meanwhile, Inter Milan has expressed interest in Sancho. The Italian club, aware of its need for an offensive reinforcement capable of adding depth and unpredictability to the squad, sees in him a talent who can make a difference on his best days. Yet they are also fully aware of the limitations: inconsistency, character concerns, and a history of struggles adapting to high-pressure environments make the transfer a high-risk proposition. This context now resonates in Real Madrid, where his name has resurfaced among potential transfer targets. From the Madrid perspective, the dilemma is clear. Is Sancho really the kind of reinforcement the club needs at this moment? Real Madrid's history shows that transfer decisions cannot rely solely on individual talent. The club's prestige has been built not just on skilled players but also on those capable of handling the intense media and sporting pressure of the Santiago Bernabéu. In this sense, character, maturity, and consistency are as crucial as technical ability. Sancho, to date, has not consistently demonstrated these qualities. Conflicts with coaches and difficulties adapting to new environments have placed him in a precarious position, turning his profile from promising talent to a potentially unstable asset. At 25 years old, the age when footballers typically reach their peak in performance and tactical maturity, his career trajectory shows more shadows than light, raising more questions than answers about his ability to succeed at a club of Real Madrid's magnitude. Moreover, his hypothetical arrival presents an additional risk. It could slow down the development of young talents who are already working diligently to secure a place in the first team. Players like Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, or Aurelien Tchouaméni have demonstrated commitment, adaptability, and steady progression, and introducing a player with a history of inconsistency could generate internal tension or disrupt team dynamics. Squad management and integration of new players are critical factors that cannot be underestimated, especially in a club where the pressure to win titles is constant and any imbalance can affect collective performance. Madrid fans and numerous experts agree that the club cannot become a recovery lab for players trying to revive their careers. Real Madrid demands excellence, commitment, and sustained performance. Incorporating Sancho under these circumstances could be seen as a high-risk gamble, where potential talent is overshadowed by doubts about reliability. The club's greatness is not built on risky signings or impulsive decisions, but through strategic planning that combines experience, youth, emotional stability, and footballing quality. Ultimately, the question is not only whether Sancho can perform, but whether his profile fits Real Madrid's current philosophy. Beyond his ability to destabilize defenses, his pace, and creativity, there remains uncertainty about whether he can withstand the pressure of a club that tolerates no mistakes and demands consistency, professionalism, and character. The club's recent history is full of examples of talented players who failed to adapt to the Bernabéu, whose careers were affected by hasty decisions. Betting on Sancho could be an unnecessary risk, potentially endangering the stability of a project that has thrived thanks to coherence and strategic vision in its transfer policy. In a market where elite clubs seek a balance between talent and reliability, Jadon Sancho's potential move to Real Madrid represents an enigma, a mix of opportunity and risk, a talent that dazzles yet whose recent trajectory suggests caution. Only time will tell whether his name will resonate again as a symbol of greatness or as a warning about the perils of high-risk bets in modern football. The potential departure of Vinicius and its impact on Real Madrid's project. The third piece of news that has shaken the foundations of Madridismo in recent weeks is undoubtedly the situation surrounding Vinicius Jr. The young Brazilian forward, who has established himself as one of the most dynamic and exciting footballers in the world, is at the center of a potential move that could radically alter the course of Real Madrid. According to various sources, Vinicius is attempting to force a departure from the club, causing a genuine upheaval among the board of directors and the fanbase, who struggle to understand his reluctance to renew his contract. The general feeling is that the situation represents a delicate mix of tension, pride, and an uncertain future. Since his arrival in Madrid, Vinicius has evolved into a fundamental player for Carlo Ancelotti's system, bringing speed, dribbling, goals, and a unique ability to break down defenses. His rise has been meteoric, going from a promising young talent to a forward capable of making the difference in the biggest nights of the Champions League. However, this progression has not been enough to retain him at a time when the club needs to consolidate its long-term project. His refusal to extend his contract has raised alarms. It is not only a question of losing a world-class player but also how this affects team morale, the club's image, and the message sent to youth academy players, who might interpret loyalty to the badge as negotiable. In this context, Manchester United emerges as the primary beneficiary. The English club is reportedly prepared to offer a figure close to €300 million, a world record sum that would make Vinicius a central figure in a project aimed at regaining European glory. Financially, such an offer is difficult to ignore, but the debate intensifies when viewed from a sporting and emotional perspective. Losing Vinicius would strike at Real Madrid's identity and could disrupt the dynamics of a team in the midst of reconstruction after several seasons of both successes and competitive challenges. The internal debate at the club goes far beyond the financial aspect. It is about pride, identity, and commitment to the badge. Vinicius, who arrived at the Madrid Youth Academy at just 16 and was molded under the club's guidance, has become a symbol of the Madrid philosophy: hard work, sacrifice, and determination to succeed at the highest level. His apparent willingness to leave at a time when he should be consolidating his role as a team leader is perceived by many as a kind of betrayal, sparking anger within both the board and a significant portion of the fanbase. Additionally, the situation raises a delicate dilemma. Allowing a player of his caliber to negotiate an exit could set a dangerous precedent for the squad and for future generations aspiring to wear the white shirt. The sporting impact of a potential Vinicius departure would be profound. Not only would the club lose a world-class attacker, but they would also lose a young player with enormous potential to continue evolving. His speed, dribbling, goal-scoring ability, and vision are difficult to replace, and finding a comparable talent would require substantial economic and strategic effort. The board of Real Madrid thus faces a crossroads. Should they accept a historic offer and lose a player who represents both the present and future of the club, or fight with all their might to retain him and preserve the continuity of their sporting project? Historically, Real Madrid has shown that no individual player is indispensable. The club has survived and thrived despite the departures of legends like Cristiano Ronaldo, Kaká, and Raúl, demonstrating that the institution is greater than any single player. Yet Vinicius is different. His style, impact on the field, and connection with the fans make him an emotional and competitive pillar of the team. The club's strength lies in its adaptability, but also in its ability to identify, develop, and consolidate talents that maintain competitiveness and international prestige. Losing Vinicius, therefore, would not only be a sporting blow but also a challenge in terms of management, planning, and institutional communication. The future scenario will largely depend on how negotiations are handled. If Vinicius decides to leave, the club will need to invest in a replacement capable of assuming similar responsibilities, while carefully managing the internal and external message. The institution always comes first, but the departure of a star inevitably generates debate and tension. Conversely, retaining him will require a careful strategy combining sporting, financial, and emotional incentives, reinforcing the idea that Real Madrid not only offers titles and global exposure but also the opportunity to leave a historic legacy. Ultimately, Vinicius Jr.'s situation represents a true turning point for Real Madrid. The question every Madridista now faces is clear and difficult to answer. Should the club accept Manchester United's multi-million-euro offer and endure the loss of one of its most decisive players, or fight to keep him as a central figure in a project that combines ambition, youth, and historical legacy? The decision will shape not only the team's immediate future, but also the perception of the institution in the years to come and its ability to retain elite talent in an increasingly competitive and demanding market.